Hey everyone, today we're gonna prove the quadratic formula. So let's start. So what is the quadratic formula? It's a formula that we're going to be using to solve any quadratic equation. So let's say we have a random quadratic equation like, I don't know, 5x squared plus 2x minus 7 equals 0. We could use the formula to solve this equation. So let me start out first by writing the formula. So let's say we have any polynomial in the form of a x squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So we have a, b, and c are any real numbers. Then, comma, we have x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So this is the formula. Okay, so where does this formula come from? Let's start by doing a proof on it. So first we have ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. And now that we have this, we want to sort of put this in an easier form to work with. This is an important step, but it's not necessarily necessary. But we'll just do it to make things a little bit easier. We'll take it and we'll divide both sides by a. So once we do that, we'll get x squared plus b over a x plus c over a equals 0. And now that we have this, a great way to solve quadratic equations in general is factoring, but since we don't know what b, a, and c are, that might get a little bit complicated. So the next way to deal with this is we can complete the square. So in other words, we're going to have something in these parentheses squared, and that's going to be equal to something else. And that'll be equivalent to saying x squared plus b over ax plus c over a equals 0. So to figure out what we need in these parentheses, I'm just going to put in some empty variables. I'm going to just do square x plus circle. Oh, it looks like a 0, but that's a circle. Equals triangle. So now that we have square x plus circle squared equals triangle, we're going to need to match these dummy variables up so we can get it into something that's actually equivalent to what we had before. So from this, if we distribute it out, we'll get, this is the same thing as saying square squared x squared plus 2 square circle x plus circle squared equals triangle. So now we can just match these up so everything works out. So from this, basically, we're going to get, here there's a 1 times x squared, so we're going to get square squared equals 1. We're going to get 2 square circle is equal to b over a. And then if we move this over here, we're going to get circle squared minus triangle is equal to c over a. So here's a little set of equations, and we're going to need to solve them so we can accurately complete the square. So from this one, we're going to get square equals 1. Okay, that's nice. And if we plug this into the second equation right here, we'll get circle is equal to b over 2a square. And square is just 1, so that's just equal to b over 2a. That's pretty simple. And then we can solve for triangle with this last one by rearranging a little bit. So he'll get triangle is equal to circle squared minus c over a. And circle squared is b over 2a, so we'll get b squared over 4a squared minus c over a. So now if we take all these things and plug it back in, boop, 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 we'll complete the square accurately. So here we have x, that's square, plus b over 2a squared. Oh, also I wanted to mention real quick that here, since we did do a square root, this really should be plus or minus 1. But since we have a plus here, we're just going to keep the plus sign so everything looks nice when we solve for this one. So we don't have to make this one, the circle, minus, if that makes sense. So here, after doing this, triangle is equal to b squared over 4a squared minus c over a. And this equation right here is equivalent to what we had right here, which is great. We had right here. So then now all we need to do is just a bit of algebra to finish things up. I want to combine these two into one thing. So I'm going to multiply this c over a by 4a, like that, 4a. So that means these will have the same denominator. There's a common denominator. So then we get b squared minus 4ac all over 4a squared. So this already looks familiar. And a few more steps and we're almost done. I'll take square root of both sides. So here we get x plus b over 2a is equal to plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 4a squared. And notice that 4a squared is really just the same as 2a, so 2a squared. That's the same as 4a squared. So using this information, we can pull out this 4a squared and say this is the same as plus or minus square root on the top, b squared minus 4a squared, 4ac, sorry, over 2a. And now all we need to do is transfer this over. And we have x is equal to, since they have the same denominator, we can just combine them, minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And that concludes the proof of the quadratic equation.